Welcome back to another reaction for I Made Friends with the Second Prettiest Girl in My Class, episode 7.
すみません。
なんだ誰かと思
Right,
っ
his
たら
dad.
久しぶりだなマキ。
父さん。
今日はどうしてここにってそりゃ遊ぶためか。マキももう高校生だもんな。
いや、
Mm.
俺は買い物で。
この前会ったのは確か夏休み前ぐらいだったよな。
Okay. He made it sound like he was not really in his life, but it also doesn't seem like the dad is bad necessarily. It also doesn't seem like they have a horrible relationship, but it seems like the dad is not in his life for a lot. I don't know if that is maybe because he's only allowed to meet with him once every 3 months, or maybe he has a lot of stuff to do, a lot of work. But it doesn't seem like the dad is going to be an asshole.
すまんな。本当ならもっと会う時間を作るべきだったんだが、あの後また仕事が忙しくなってしまってな。
じゃあ今日も？
まあな、たまたまここが次の仕事の案件になってその帰りってところだ。
大変そうだね。体大丈夫？
心配するな。体力には自信がある。
前原部長。お話中すみません。戻ってくるのが遅かったので。
ああ、待たせて悪かったな。湊、俺の息子のマキだ。
Minato, huh?
部長のお子さん。はじめまして、湊京香と言います。
前原真希です。どうも。
Sorry to barge in on your date. Seriously, it's not like that anyway. Tomorrow after school. Not done yet? Monkey? Oh, okay. Meat's waiting. What kind of meat?
一緒に来た友達か？
じゃあ仕事が忙しいみたいだし、俺はもう帰るよ。
あ、また。
Minato Kyoka. Oh, I was like, is she maybe the mama for some of the girls? But we literally saw the mom of our main girl, so can't be her. I guess she is interested in his dad. But she looks like she's has the problem with Maki.
どうしてあなたはいつもそうなの？どうして何も言ってくれないの？
父さん。
ごめんな、マキ。
He's what, high school, which doesn't tell me anything. I guess 16 or so. I feel like with 16, you can, not necessarily have to, but you could potentially have a more mature viewpoint where you just see it more objectively and are like, sometimes a relationship doesn't work out. It just happens, sometimes earlier, sometimes later. So a divorce may have been the most healthy option between these two. Did not seem like they were doing well before.
マーキー、ちょっと遅かったね。迷子？
まあそんなところ。
海ったらね、マキ君が戻ってくる前までずっとそわそわしてて、無駄話はいいからさっさと行きましょうね。
ほら、
マキも行こう。
I mean, he already knows she likes him, right? He was just like, hey, at the moment, I am unsure if I can do a relationship. Which is fair enough. Because of the divorce, he probably has a warped viewpoint of relationships. Because a lot of people see like marriage the be and all whatever. But it's not really. I mean, a lot of divorce happens. I would always be careful about marrying someone. You need at least a good amount of run-up time. Living together, sleeping together, working together for like a year or so. Finding, getting comfortable with one another, and then the idea of marriage can come in. Not like, oh, we are together for a month, let's marry. That is not useful. Unless you are doing it for tax credit. Tax reasons, not credit, right? I don't know how it is with where you live, but I know in my country, it's so long ago. I know if you are alone, you pay a lot of tax. If you marry, one of the marriage partners gets a discounted tax rate. The other one, I believe, however, gets a pretty heavy tax rate. I don't really know if that is still the case, and if that is in the end still better than being in the tax bracket that fucks you over both, right? Additionally, you could have children and stuff like that, which also gives you more tax stuff. Taxes suck balls, but I believe there is strategic marrying where you get better taxes.
マキ、聞いてる？マキ。てい。
あいた。
もうせっかく何頼むか聞いてあげてんのに、ずっとわーとかとか生返事して。一人の時ならいいけど、あんまり人の前でぼーっとしちゃ失礼だよ。
ごめん。ちょっと疲れちゃったかな。
大丈夫？気分悪いなら別に無理しなくてもいいからね。
いや、平気。ぼーっとしてただけでお腹が空いてないわけじゃないから。あ、じゃあ俺はこの厚切り牛タンにしようかな。
おう、いいね。じゃあ私は上ハラミにしようっと。ユウは？私は当然骨付きカルビかな。あとは適当にウインナーとか海鮮焼きセットとか頼んじゃおうよ。
Do you have ice cream? Is that ice cream?
はあ、お、ちょっとユウ、あんたってばもうアイス。
Who's eating ice cream before you eat the meal? That is savage.
取ってきちゃったの？いくら食べ放題とはいえさすがに盛りすぎ。
Or you can eat. Never mind then. As someone smarter than me did say, there's an extra stomach for sweets, so.
じゃない？海だってコーラとホワイトソーダ混ぜて子供みたいなことしてんじゃん。私のアイスは別腹だからいいの。
See? It's science. What can I tell you?
ねえ、マキ君もそう思うよね。
いや、どっちもどっちかな。
言われてるよ。どっちかっていうと子供なのは言うでしょ。私はちょっとコップ一杯分だけ作ってみただけだし。
海も天海さんもとりあえず野菜もちゃんと食べ。
No? How about no? Granted, with a grill, you can make some fire vegetables on a grill.
よね。 海がいて天海さんがいて、それから今年はきっといい思い出になるはずだ。だから去年のことはもう忘れて。
So the divorce is only a year ago? Okay. I mean, bringing it up on this day, probably not good, but especially for someone like Maki, if you are close to someone, you should be able to talk about this kind of stuff, right? It would also give her some perspective why you at the moment are unsure about a relationship. I feel like that is just a good thing to do. Now, there's all the whole idea of trauma dumping going around. I do not know when that really is, because it sounds like this would be if you were to dump all of your problems on someone. But this is just one big thing he is struggling with. And I feel like that would be fine enough to share. Right?
これからのことを考えよう。まあこんなもんか。
How was the date?
よ。
Why are you getting him? It should be the other way around.
あー、寒いのでとりあえず入れてくれると嬉しいです。
はい、お待たせ。
ありがとう。
Where are you looking?
今私の足見てたでしょ。
だって寒そうだなって思ったから。
そりゃ実際寒いよ。マキの家来るまで正直な話ちょっと後悔してたもん。
Maybe we don't go out, we can stay here.
ならそんなに無理しなくていいのに。
それはおっしゃる通り。でもせっかくだし可愛いところ見てもらいたいじゃん。その一番仲のいい男の子にさ。
じゃあ待ち合わせじゃなくて家に来てくれたのって。
うん、迷惑かなって思ったけどやっぱり早く見てもらいたくて。ねえマキから見て今日の私どうかな。
どうってこんなこと面と向かって言うのは恥ずかしいけどさ。綺麗だよ海。正直見とれた。
そうありがとう。それなら頑張った甲斐はあったかな。
I mean, that I don't know if that is what she wanted to hear specifically, but at least you did answer the question, which in a lot of these shows people would have just accepted her trying to play it off. So it's nice that there's something going on. It clearly, we know, everyone knows she likes him. And we also know or can see that he's definitely interested in her. But it's the whole divorce thing. And I feel like you need to share that. You need to tell her that you are, because at the moment she doesn't really know why you don't want to answer her, or you are not wanting to be in a relationship. And sure, she can be patient, but at some point she's going to need an answer. But if you tell her what is going on, maybe then she is able to help you through or can be more patient. I would have liked for her to wear some stockings or whatever, just to keep the legs a little bit warm.
あのさ、今日はせっかくのデートだし、これで行こっか。
まあ今日も冷えるしな。
その割には手汗すごいけど。
じゃあやめる。
却下だ。
どこにでもいそうなちょっと背伸びをした高校生の男女。それも全て海が気合を入れて俺をコーディネートしてくれたおかげだ。容姿は今さら変えられないし、それをネタにされても構わないけど、こんな俺のことを大好きって言ってくれた海まで一緒に笑われるのは嫌だ。
どうした？
これからもいろいろ教えてくれると嬉しい。俺頑張るから。海のために。なんだよ。
今日のマキ、なんだか一段といじらしくて可愛いなって思っただけ。
それ喜んでいいのか？
普通はあんまり良くないと思うけど、私からマキへの言葉だったら喜んでくれていいよ。
おあのさ、海、この席カップルシートじゃない？
今日はデートだしいいかなって。
確かにそうだけど、海さん。
何？
どうして座るなり俺の腕に抱きついてくるの？
だってここカップルシートだし。ほら、同じシート座ってる人たち大体やってるよ。それともマキは私とこんなことするのよ？
別に嫌じゃないけど。
マキってば素直じゃないんだから。ツンツン。
So there are couple seats and non-couple seats. I have never seen a cinema with some kind of couple seating. Right? I mean, would it make sense? Maybe. I mean, they showcase it in this way, so you wouldn't even lose extra seats as long as you're able to find enough couples, right? Because if you don't, then the seat is useless. I do wonder if you would want to maybe make it cheaper or more expensive. Because there has to be some kind of benefit for you, right? I would say you make it a little bit more expensive. Or maybe cheaper, I don't know. But yeah, the biggest problem is if you have a movie like an action movie, then these seats are mostly useless. And if I want to see a movie and I'm alone, I'm not going to pay double seat price. Other than that, I mean, it seems fine.
ほら、もうすぐ本編始まるから。
はーい。ねえマキ、
今度は何？
こんなとこクラスの誰かに見られたらどうしよっか。
Let's. Also, if you don't like her clinging to you, then put your arm around her. I mean, she clearly wants to be close to you, so.
よく寝た。
That was a good nap? What did you watch? Copper Real Estate, The Trail You Left Behind, or Dead End Shark? I assume The Trail You Left Behind? The other two, I don't know.
始まって30分で爆睡するとは。
だってクソつまんなかったんだもん。せっかくだからネタバレとか見ずに来たんだけど、こういう時に限ってハズレを引いてしまうとは。
映画あるあるだな。
それやはり変に特別なことはせず、改造巨大人食いザメ対最強ギュスターブ対巨大深海クラーケン対暴走。
Excuse me, what? We hadn't tried to get cute and gone with a giant cyborg man-eating shark versus the almighty Gustav versus the giant deep-sea kraken versus a killing spree android in a titanic battle of super heavyweights. I see. I mean, here's you don't need to have high quality storytelling every time. If you just have a really fun action story, why not? Does it need to make sense? No. If it's just enjoyable fun, here we have like a big Terminator guy, a giant shark, giant octopus, and whatever the last one was, a lizard or whatever. And you have some really awesome fights, maybe even some creativity. And then the question is, how did this happen? Oh, we don't know. Does it matter? Not really.
にすべきだったか。
何そのオールスタ
I'm back.
Really? Really? I mean, how they showcase this would not be that good, but you can make it interesting, or you can make it. You don't need to make it interesting in the concept of storytelling. Just make it really fun. A really fun action flick that for 2 hours you are just entertained, over the top. Have some comedy, some laughs. Don't put romance in it. No one needs romance. Or if you have romance, be like, oh yeah, the shark is romancing the octopus. Why? Because we need romance. Sounds like a dumb
マキ
action fun
どうだ
movie.
った
うんデザートまで全部美味しかったけどでも一つだけ不満がある
お実は私もなんだよね。じゃあ同時に言うせーの。
量が少ない
だよね。
うんあ
食後にこういうのもなんだけどバーガーでも食いに行くか。
あとポテトもな
おうよオニオンリングだってつけちゃう。
Who's paying, by the way?
ねえマキ次はさあそこ行ってみようよ。
どこ
ほらあそこ赤い看板のある。
カラオケ
何そんなに歌うの嫌なの？
俺カラオケとか行ったことないし
じゃあ今日が初めてだ。じゃない抱っこしてでも強制的に連れてくぞ。2時間ワンドリンクで学生料金でお願いします。
So 2 hours here, 2 hours approximately, maybe 3 even for the movie. Already 5, an hour for the meal, I guess. So we are already like 6 hours in after this.
どう？私の美声は。
すごくいいと思うおお
歌うの久しぶりだからやっぱり気持ちいいな。ほら次マキの番。
いやごめん俺まだ決まってないから
そっかじゃあ2人で一緒に歌う？それならマキだって歌いやすいでしょ。浮気したらあかんで。
What a song. Don't cheat, I'm right by your side. How about we have something a little bit less about cheating and stuff? We are not even together. hope it's not copyrighted. Also, why do we have subtitles for this song but no subtitles for fucking Bookworm?
浮気したらあかんでうちがそばにいるのに浮気したらあかんで許しはしまへんで歌ったね二人きりでさすがに喉も体もヘトヘトだ
右に同じ。
マキの歌割と上手だったじゃん
海のおかげだよ。人前で歌うの初めてだったけど、海のおかげで苦い思い出にならずに済んだ。ありがとな、海。
どういたしまして寒マキのポッケにはいつもカイロが入ってるねえマキマキはさ私のことどう思ってる
どうって。
唇の方は私のこと好きって言ってくれたらね
それ
I mean, at some point she wants some kind of answer.
今言った方がいいかな。
無理
Quite honestly, there's not really better time than now. You had a fantastic day, you had fun, you were full. I mean, doesn't get that much better, does it?
意地しないけどマキの口から聞きたいなって思っちゃってダメ
ダメじゃないけど。
ジョー周りに聞かれないように私だけに耳打ちしてでもいいから
まだ胸を張って海の恋人ですって言えるような自分じゃないけど。じゃあ
息がくすぐったいよ
This is all building up. I feel like there's going to be something happening, right?
ごめん。
大丈夫だけど
Maybe the woman. Oh. Oh. Now the question is, are they both together or is she trying to get him to like her?
知ってる人、
あれ、俺の父さんとその部下の人。
なんかすごい仲良さそうだね
First off, okay, I would hide. I don't want to have this happening at all.
気づかれないうちにさっさと行こう。
Yep.
いいの
今出て行っても二人に迷惑だろうし、それに俺たちの時間だってまだ終わったわけじゃん。海
動かないで二人ともこっちに来てる
I mean, I would count that as a win if the situation was not that horrible. But it would be a good segue to show her what is going on.
行っちゃったよ
ごめん、海。
なんで謝るのマキは何も悪くない悪いのはい
や、父さんも湊さんも悪くないよ。ただ
That is true. Because he did divorce your mom. So theoretically he's a free man. So he can choose whoever he wants to as a new partner.
ちょっとタイミングが悪かっただけだ。帰ろう。遅くなったらソラさんも心配するだろうし。
That really destroyed the moment.
ただいま。
あ、おかえり。
Hmm.
ごめんね、また。
別に気にしないから。母さん疲れてる？
Yeah, something is going
久
on.
々の年末進行だけあってさすがにきついはきついけど、まあどっちかっていうとそれ以外でちょっとね。ところで今日はどうだった？海ちゃんとのデート。
Whatever you are going to tell her, do not say stuff about your dad. Your dad is not relevant here, right?
うまくいった？
It doesn't matter.
まあ映画行ったりカラオケ行ったり、それなりに仲良くできたと思う。
そう。じゃあクリスマスもその調子で頑張らないとね。あ、イブだからって海ちゃんと。
その先行ったらベランダに叩き出すけどいい？
冗談冗談。あんたと海ちゃんのことだから。
Yeah, don't worry. We're going to make sure we are not ending up as high school parents.
心配してないよ。ねえマキ、
ん？
来週の金曜日ってさ、あんた何か予定ある？夜なんだけど。
その日は期末試験初日だし、特に何もないけど。
ん？
強いて言うなら試験勉強かな。
やっぱり試験なのよね。この前からそう言ってるんだけど。
それって
マキには申し訳ないんだけど、次の金曜を面会日にしたいってお父さんが。
Okay.
そう。
Why?
俺と父さんの面会については父さんと母さんが離婚した時にきちんと決められている。俺が高校を卒業するまでの間はおよそ月に一度の。
I feel like that is insane. Once a month? Really? That's all? I feel like at least once every 2 weeks. Better even every week. Right? Once a month is insane.
頻度で会い、一緒に食事をしたり近況を話したりする。離婚したからといって父さんのことは嫌いじゃないし、大抵高そうなお店で食事できるからそこそこ楽しみにはしてたんだけど。
いつもはこっちに予定を合わせてくれたんだけど。
いいよ、父さんからお金をちゃんともらってるわけだし。
No. He does not. The financial support is mostly for you. Because you are his son. And so he has the responsibility to take care of you. So that is why the financial support is there. Now, could you try to make it fit? I mean, it's a Friday. I don't know if you have school on Saturday. I'm not too sure. But you could potentially meet him. Or you could at least make it so that the meeting would be somewhat feasible. Right? Especially if this is maybe the first time he was more or less saying, I want to meet you on this day. I'm assuming it's going to end in him saying, I have a new woman at my side and I want to let you know.
そのおかげで余裕のある生活ができてるわけだから。ねえ母さん。
何？
Don't.
母さんは村戸さんの存在を知っているんだろうか。
They are divorced. As far as as far as this is going, it doesn't matter what the dad is doing. as long as he's paying the support, and while you are meeting him, nothing really bad happens. It doesn't matter what he does in his free time. He can meet a new girl. He can start a new family if he wants to. He can also be single.
父さんとの仲は離婚してからなのか、離婚前から続いていたことなのか。もし何かの間違いで後者だったとしたら、母さんがそのことを知らなかったとしたら。
マキ。
何
はあんたの方でしょう。急に顔色悪くしちゃって。デート疲れ？
そうかも。今日はそわそわして早起きしちゃったし。
じゃあご飯の用意するから先にお風呂入っちゃいなさいな。
うん。
あ、海ちゃんには早めに連絡入れなさいよ。デートのお礼。アフターケアは大切だからね。
分かってるよ。いちいちうるさいな。母さん、一つ聞きたいんだけど。
何？
父さんのことまだ好き？
なんで？
ごめん、父さんと会うの久しぶりだから。なんか変なこと聞いちゃった？
いえ、大丈夫よ。父さんのことまだ好きか？そうね。いろいろあって離婚しちゃったけど、多分まだ心のどこかで好きって気持ちは残ってるんだと思う。顔も見たくない時期とかは確かにあったけど、マキと3人で写った写真が入ったアルバムとかどうしても捨てきれずに持ってきちゃったし。
アルバムあったんだ。
なんだかんだで15年。いや、マキが生まれる前だからもっとかな。後でアルバム見る？
I mean, it makes sense for Maki to try and ask if his mom is still attached to his dad, or if she maybe wants to start a new, not a new family, but maybe find a new partner. I feel like it would be a lot easier for him if she did find a new partner. This way, you know, his dad has a new partner, his mom has a new partner. Both sides are fine. I can't even say that his dad is not romantically involved with the woman, but I would also not be able to guarantee that is the case, especially not what he assumes or what he hopes is not the case, that this happened before the divorce, which maybe it did. Then the question is how long before the divorce, because the divorce is the end point. Normally you have like a rift opening up before, and then it could be that someone in the partnership, they're both like, we can't do this anymore, we need to divorce, I want to get out of this relationship. They then search for a partner, and that, in my opinion, is totally fine. If the decision is already more or less made to divorce, and both parties know that it is most likely going to come to that, I see the relationship being more or less cut off. It still takes like I don't know how long a divorce takes, but you probably have to file the divorce, and then they had seemingly lawyers coming in. So why this all got patched and everything got decided? You were probably still technically married, and after everything went through, you agreed to the terms, then the divorce happened. So see, if you wanted to be totally pure about it, you would be like, yeah, why you are trying to stamp down the details of the divorce, you would not be allowed to meet any other people, which I feel like is unreasonable.
この頃の俺 結構泣いてるな。全く記憶にないけど。
そうね。ちっちゃい時のマキったら家族以外の人に抱かれるだけでワンワン泣いちゃって、記念撮影とかもすぐに私の影に隠れちゃうから、顔をちゃんと撮ろうとするとカメラを気にする余裕がない時ぐらいしかなくて。
やっぱり聞けるわけないよな。平穏になりつつある今の生活をまたぐちゃぐちゃにしたくない。
It also doesn't matter is a problem. But instead of being like, should I not? The question then is, what are the outcomes you assume could happen and you want to happen? Let's say you tell her, yeah, I saw dad hanging out with a girl, with a woman. Your mom is maybe going to be angry. Okay, now she's angry. Not good. She could be totally sad, then she's sad, and it's also not good. Is she going to be happy? Most likely not. So there are mostly negative emotions that could happen. So why bring it up? Right? Unless you want to be like, hey, you want to help your mom to get over your dad. But I feel like then you could do it differently, right? In different ways.
それが今の俺の願いだ。だからこそ今日のことは全部飲み込んで忘れる。それが母さんにとっても俺にとってもきっと一番なのだから。
I mean, it makes the most sense, right? Now, we do have the meeting. So the meeting can go multiple ways. It could be that the dad wants to tell his son that he found a new woman he's interested in and wants to marry or whatever. That may be one of the reasons. It seems like it is urgent enough. It may also be that his dad wants to get back together with his mom. Now then the question is, what did he see? Was it more or less them meeting on a free day? She did have makeup on. She did, cling to him. I also don't know what his job is, so I don't know if that may have been job related. Most likely not. So it clearly looked like a date. Now maybe it was a date. Maybe he tried. Maybe he was like, she approached him. He was like, okay, I'm giving you, let's go on a date, see what is going on. And he is not interested. Maybe he still loves his old wife. Because you divorced does not mean you were not still attached to that person. You were just unable to continue living like that. And this is always whenever communication breaks down. You bottle everything up until it explodes. And then you go with the most severe option, in this case, divorce. Which it probably would have been, depending, but maybe it would have been enough for him to just have his own apartment. This way, he is not there all the time. He's there like the weekends, maybe a couple days in the week. Some people may not see that as a normal relationship. I see that as somewhat healthy to have people away from one another. I would not be able to hang out with a friend like all the time, every day of the week, every month, every year. I need my alone time. Now, if you are in an apartment together, splitting rent, you each have your own room. So you still have like a differentiation. You can be in your room. It's your little castle. You can do whatever you want. You can bring whoever you want. But in a marriage, you normally don't have that. Your sleeping room is most of the time also the room for your partner, which means you don't really have that retreat that you may want. And not everyone can afford to have an extra room for one of the people, so I feel like we will see. We will see next week. Is he going to tell him, hey, I have a new wife or potential wife, or is he going to be like, yeah, I'm still interested in your mom? Because she, the potential partner of the guy, of the dad, she looked at our guy a little bit not, you could call it aggressive, like an enemy. She was seeing him as a thorn in her side. This may have been, again, if we go with the direction that he still likes his mom, this may have been one of those points where they were on a date, everything went fine, and she was trying to talk badly about his son, and he was not having it. We will see. We will see.